Welcome to the Lexus Halftime Show. Lexus and their passionate pursuit of perfection.
And hi, everyone. Jimmy Roberts in our New York studio with the Lexus Halftime Show. We'll have scores and highlights from the top 25 in a moment. USC on top of Notre Dame, 28-14. You know, there are certain magical moments in sports. We may have already witnessed one or two of them in baseball this week. Certainly among the most memorable occurrence in all of college football history, the 1974 meeting between these two teams, USC and Notre Dame.
The Coliseum today is the site for the 46th meeting between the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and the Southern California Trojans. Notre Dame.
The first half, and then an other guy who has
very much. This is best man today. Finals plus.
Back to the Lexus Halftime Show with unbeaten. Back to the Lexus Halftime Show, the 5th ranked.
4:30 Eastern, NBC.
And we welcome you back to the Lexus Halftime Show, the 5th ranked Trojans of USC leading Notre Dame 28-14 at halftime. Let's get right to the scores and highlights from college football's top 25, starting with unbeaten Miami. The Canes are ranked number 2. And after a couple of tough opponents the last few weeks, well, it was time for a breather. Or so they thought against Temple. Third quarter, Miami leading by 10. What's this? Oh, no. Fake punt. DJ Williams takes it 61 yards for the score. Miami goes up 31-14 at that point. Can't blame Larry Coker for running the score up. Game close at that point. It wasn't at the end. 39th straight regular season win for Miami. Jared Payton, 16 rushes, 115 yards. Next up, Virginia Tech in 2 weeks for Miami. Purdue and Wisconsin at Camp Randall. Fourth quarter, Wisconsin trailing by 7. Jim Leonard fields the punt at the Badgers' 37. One more man to get past, and he's going to go all the way. This game is tied. Moments later, though, Kyle Orton goes up top looking for Ray Williams. Check out this catch. He never saw it until it was in his hands. 35 yards right to the doorstep. And then Ben Jones seals the deal, his 4th field goal of the day, 18 yards, 26-23 for Purdue. The winner of the last 3 meetings in this series gone on to represent the Big Ten in the Rose Bowl. Check out Orton's numbers, 411 yards, 55 attempts. They were never behind. Michigan State and Minnesota, fourth quarter, Spartans leading by 13. Michigan State sophomore tailback Jason Teague breaks through the line and goes 60 yards right up the gut, seals the victory for Michigan State. They improved to 7-1 on the year, 44-38. They beat Minnesota. The Spartans roll, but a savage schedule coming up. They host Michigan, then they travel to Ohio State and Wisconsin. Illinois and Michigan at the Big House. Second quarter, Michigan leading by 14. Sophomore wide receiver Steve Breston fields the Illinois punt on the far sideline. Looks like he's trapped, so he cuts it back, comes all the way back to the near side, up the sideline, finds the picket fence, and then cuts it right up the middle. 74 yards later, touchdown, Michigan. Breston's second punt return for a touchdown this season. The route was on. Another big day for Chris Perry, 140 yards rushing in this game. 3 touchdowns all in the first half. He passes 3,000 yards, I should say, on the ground this season. The Cornhuskers forced 8 turnovers, tying a school record last accomplished in 1979. They beat Texas A&M. And the Longhorns snap back after that Sooner spanking. Cedric Benson, 32 rushes, 140 yards, 3 touchdowns. And for the latest on Fighting Irish football, log on to NBCSports.com. Check out a special section, NBC's Notre Dame Central. That includes Pat Hayden's look at why freshman quarterback Brady Quinn could be a real find for the Irish. Plus, sign up for a free newsletter that brings you the latest on Notre Dame football. It's all at NBCSports.com. Well, switching gears for a moment, we head back out to South Bend. And Bob Costas, I'm just going to make a wild guess here and say that not only did you watch the baseball games this week, but somehow I have a feeling that you have an opinion too. So we start in the American League. Grady Little just taking all sorts of heat up in Boston. Should he keep his job?
Well, I don't want to say anybody should lose their job, but there's considerable sentiment to that effect in Boston, and the people who cover the Red Sox on a regular basis say it's no better than 50-50 that he keeps his job. From a distance, he seems to me to be a very classy man who's handled both victory and defeat. with dignity, but it's very hard to justify or defend his decision to stick with Pedro Martinez as long as he did.
All right, let's, as we take a look at Pedro and the conference they had on the mound, let's move on to another great moment from that series. Aaron Boone's home run to end the series and propel the Yankees into the World Series. Right now, it's a big moment, but years from now, how do you think this will be viewed? How does this stack up against the great moments in baseball history?
Well, because it was such a great game and a Game 7, and because of the context of the Yankees-Red Sox rivalry, I think it's way up there. I'm not going to call it the greatest game ever played, as some people did in the immediate aftermath, but I think it gets into the discussion with the Bobby Thompson home run game in '51, the Larson perfect game for different reasons, the Game 7 that Mazeroski won with a home run in the 1960 World Series, Game 6 in 1975, the Fisk home run game, the Red Sox and the Reds, and a few others. I mean, it's on that list. It's in the top 10 for sure. All
right, well, let's move over to the National League now. The National League Championship Series, certainly one of the most exciting series also we've seen in a long time. And Game 6 there, they are 5 outs away from going to the World Series, as you know, and then everything falls apart. And the moment we're likely to remember is that fan reaching out, Moises Alou drifting over, trying to make the catch, and then a fan trying to catch the ball. What's your take on this, Bob? What do you think?
Well, the first thing is that the umpires on the scene and the supervisors in reviewing the play all said that you could not have called interference in that situation. It wasn't clear that Alou would easily make the play, and therefore the call was correct, and a lot of other things had to happen. But because of the history of the Cubs, because of the whole idea of the curse, this becomes the peculiar moment that people will remember, and it set everything off. But rather than hear me talk about it, why don't we just widen out here and bring in Mark Pryor, who is here to watch his USC Trojans. But let's talk some baseball. You're cruising along, up 3-0 in the 8th inning. Juan Pierre has a double. Castillo is at the plate. He hits the pop. With the argument that ensued and Alou being so hot, did that throw you off or rattle you in any way?
No, I don't think it did. You know, it was an unfortunate incident, and unfortunately for the fan, he's, you know, been blown out. You know, his name's out there, and everybody's blaming him for what has happened. But you know, we had chances to get out of that situation. You know, I hung an 0-2 curveball to Rodriguez that he hit for a single. You know, Alex Gonzalez, who's, you know, a sure thing almost at shortstop, just ball came up on him. And, you know, we still had chances to get out of that inning. And unfortunately, we didn't execute, and things just snowballed from there.
You could make the case that if Alou is able to catch the ball, and it would have been a good play, then Gonzalez doesn't boot the grounder if it happens that way, because he's not hurrying to get 2. He just needs to get 1.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, if Moises makes a great play into the stance, you know, no one can help us. But, you know, I think everybody in the clubhouse and from management knows that that play right there is not the reason we lost that game. And like I said, it was unfortunate, and we were real close. But hopefully we always got next year, and I know that's a common theme in Chicago.
After being part of what happened at Wrigley this week and then seeing what happened at Yankee Stadium, do you believe in curses?
No, I don't. You know, I just think it's scary coincidences. You know, the Yankees are a great team, and I think the Florida Marlins have a great team that is very underrated. I think they've got great pitching and very good offensive team, and they do all the little things correct and execute all the time that makes them a great ball club, and that's why they're in games no matter what.
Are you going to watch the World Series?
I don't know. Maybe not tonight, because I'm here watching this game right now. But, you know, I'll probably turn it on, you know, throughout the course of the series to find out what's going on. I might not watch it with the same, you know, intensity that I usually do. But, you know, obviously I want to know who wins because, you know, I'm a fan of the game as well, too.
I know you said it before, but you think everybody should ease up on this Steve Bartman kid.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. And I know Moises said it right away. I mean, at the time he was hot about what happened. And like I said, it would have been a great play if he made it. But 99% of the fans would have done the exact same thing. I know I would have done the same thing if I was in this fan situation. It's just instinct. Everybody wants a baseball when you're a fan, especially when it could have been a baseball from a very important game.
Pitching for USC, you won the baseball equivalent of the Heisman Trophy, the Golden Spikes Award. Now you're over here rooting for your Trojans. You getting much love from this Notre Dame crowd?
Actually, I am. They're, you know, I think being a Chicago Cubs fan outweighs being a Notre Dame fan. So they've been very helpful for me walking around the stadium, and nothing but love from them. So I can't thank them enough.
Mark, good to see you. And as every Cub fan knows, there's always next year.
I know, unfortunately, but we'll be back next year.
All right. Jimmy, he could have signed with the Yankees. They offered him $1.5 million out of high school. He decided to go to college instead and wound up a Cub. Back to Jimmy in New York.
Education, always a good decision. Game 1 of the World Series, we remind you, tonight at 8:06, Yankees and Marlins. First pitch. Meanwhile, in South Bend, USC leads Notre Dame 28-14. Send you back to Tom Hammond, Pat Hayden, and Lewis Johnson right after these messages from your local station.
This has been the Lexus Halftime Show. Lexus and their passionate pursuit of perfection.